What's up, everybody? Michael Richards here with Elite Athletic Performance. Just wanted to add another video to our library discussion video about a question that I get a lot during the off season, especially the fall and winter time of the year. Speed training. How do we train for speed for our baseball players? Because there's a lot of guys and parents that are interested in getting faster, and I feel like there's a discussion that needs to be had there. So here we go. So first thing you need to understand, there's a distinction that needs to be made between sprint training and running faster, like training to run faster. There's a difference there. We utilize sprint training because it has been shown that utilizing sprints in your training, and a guy that can take some time off of his 10-yard sprint will develop, he is developing power quicker. It's a way to train his body, a tool that we use to help train his body to develop power faster, right? So we do train like 10-yard sprints, things like that, to help guys get faster because that will help them hit balls harder and throw balls harder, right? And as a side note or a side result, they get a little bit faster, right? But we don't devote our entire time to speed training, and we don't have a class for speed training. And here's the reason why, all right? So the next thing we need to understand that everybody kind of already understands, but to revisit it, what is the most valuable thing, the most valuable resource in the world? It's time, right? We don't get that back. We can't manufacture it. It's the only thing that we cannot ever get back. So we have to spend it wisely. We don't have much off season, right? All right, so having said that, as far as baseball and softball goes, we basically have three buckets that we care about, three buckets of ability, all right? We have the hit and throw powerfully bucket, which obviously I'm not really considering. I've never had a pitcher-only athlete ask me about speed training. That all they care about is pitching and swinging golf clubs, so that's not a problem. It's the hitters and the position players and the two-way players that think that they want to get faster usually. So the three buckets we care about: bucket one is hit and throw powerfully, bucket two, hit powerfully consistently, and run faster, okay? So the question is, how much ability is in each one of your buckets? Like, how much is in each bucket, okay? I would make the argument that if 1 and 2 are not overflowing, you are wasting your time worrying about number 3. Some of you, if you pay attention to professional baseball, you might remember a guy named Billy Hamilton. He was a guaranteed run if he got on base. He was so fast. If you made the mistake and walk him, he was going to score, but he couldn't get on base. That was like less than 5 years ago. He's not even playing now, right? In comparison to that, David Ortiz, a couple of years ago, like the last 2 years he was playing, I think he's still getting paid by the Red Sox. He couldn't even walk. He had plantar fasciitis so bad that his feet hurt him all the time, but he hit nukes, and he got probably another, I have no idea what his contract was, but it was a bunch of money, generational money. And they knew he wasn't going to make it through that contract, but he hit so well that they paid him to do it anyways. They knew they were going to lose money in the long run, but it was worth it because he hit so well. So ask yourself, are these two buckets right here, are they full enough to where I can devote time, because I only have a certain amount of time to spend on training? I only have, in some of my other videos, some of you seen, we've talked about the training dollar. If you're not familiar with that, every athlete wakes up every day and they basically have a training dollar to spend on training, and unfortunately that dollar gets taken away from by stress and schoolwork and not sleeping enough and eating poorly and eating gas station food and stuff like that, not drinking enough water. And so they already kind of are starting with 90 cents usually. And so, you know, we only have so much of that dollar to work with every day. And so we have to be very efficient with that dollar with our training. And I am not convinced that using that dollar on running faster for a baseball player that doesn't already do these very, very well at an elite level, I'm just not convinced that this is a good use of time. Like, and you know, I'm talking about the kid that's basically guaranteed a double or a home run every time they get up. That's the kid that if you're not doing that, like, what are you doing, you know? All right, so 1 and 2, is the 1 and 2 overflowing? I don't know. If you're not convinced yet, this is my final argument, and you know, it's not like the end of the world either way, but just presenting another way to look at things for you. If you got two athletes, athlete A has 3 buckets that are half full. They're mediocre at everything. right? Is athlete A more likely to play at the next level? Do you want athlete A on your team? Athlete B has this bucket is over, these buckets are overflowing, right? These buckets right here are overflowing. This one's wherever it may lie. It's just, they didn't really worry about it. Which one of those do you want on your team? Which one's gonna go to play college ball? Which one's gonna get drafted? Which one's more likely, right? And now there is an argument to be had if that person's personal ability is so large that their buckets are huge and they're halfway full. Yeah, that's a different story, but you're not most normal people have limited bucket size. And so we have to make sure that we get these two buckets before we worry about this one, in my opinion. So hopefully that helps you understand a few things. If you have any questions, let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. Until the next time, thanks for watching.